Got CD Projekt Red. It says, I still call him CD Projekt Red. I know because CD Projekt. I'm still going with CD Projekt Red, dude. I'm old school.
It's still Twitter. It's still CD Projekt Red.
Right? CD Projekt says it wants to release major games more frequently. Imagine that. Tom Ivan over at VGC. Well, we would love that too because they make great games. So we'd love to see more of them more often. It's just, yeah, we'll see. Excluding expansions, the company's flagship releases to date have been The Witcher in 2007, The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings 2011, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt 2015, and lastly, Cyberpunk 2077 in 2020, which had a rocky start to say the least, Scott, but we got there eventually.
Yeah, we all know that tale, a tale that actually is quite positive.
Yes, yeah, it came around, right? Yeah, I'm glad to see the redemption on that one fix things.
Yes.
During CD Projekt's quarterly earnings call on Tuesday, the company was asked whether it had the bandwidth to focus on more than one large game simultaneously with the goal of making its release schedule less lumpy. Quote, we already worked on 2 projects at the same time when we worked on Cyberpunk 2077 DLC Phantom Liberty because that was a game-sized project with almost 300 people working on it. And at the same time, we had already been working on Polaris. So we've had an experience. Had an experience of working on more than one project. End quote. Said joint CEO Mikhail Nowitzki. Quote. And we are working on more than one project at this time as well. There is Cyberpunk 2 being developed in Boston. There is Polaris being developed predominantly here in Europe, and obviously we have other projects with other teams like Project Cirrus, also in Boston, and the Molasses Flood. Dude, rest in peace, Flame in the Flood. Molasses Flood made one of my favorite of all-time survival games, and we will never see it again because I got swooped up by CD Projekt. And yeah, now they're working on Witcher stuff.
You know, you've talked about that one so much that I really want to try it out myself, but it sounds like a dead end, and that's just sad.
Dude, it's worth picking up. Like I own that game like 3 times. I bought it on 3 different platforms. It is so good. Yeah. Well, and there's the Witcher 1 remake done in cooperation with Canis Morgis. So you can definitely expect us to release more titles, and the cadence of launches is something we definitely plan to increase. Although I will obviously not comment on what is the space between the projects time-wise. End quote. CD Projekt provided an update on the size of the development teams engaged on current projects as part of the financial results on Tuesday. As of last month, 407 developers are working on Polaris. That's the next project out of CD Projekt, which is the first entry in a new Witcher trilogy. Scott, are we moving away from Geralt?
It does sound like we're moving away from Geralt, and I think that's, although kind of nerve-wracking for some who love Geralt, myself included, actually, but there's a huge universe to pull from there, so it could be just as good.
Absolutely. At the time it was announced in 2022, CD Projekt said it intends to publish all 3 games in a 6-year period. Boy.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's aggressive. That is impressive.
Talk about cadence, yeah, that's incredible. Especially considering that you look at the Witcher games, they're 4 years apart. And then from Witcher to Cyberpunk, 5 years apart.
So like, games are only getting bigger, and they take more and more time. Are we getting a smaller scaled Witcher experience, Scott?
Oh, that could be fair. I don't know how 2 compares to 3, really. 2 kind of, I think people complain that it was short, but I thought it was a perfect length.
Right. No, I think that's cool. I think this works well, if we can get these. Dude, that's... Man, I don't know. 3 games in a 6-year period, that's a 2-year turnaround. I'm down for it, but that's aggressive. That's very aggressive. 56.
Yeah, that's
Go ahead.
That's a Call of Duty situation right there, but at least there's multiple companies jumping on that one.
That's just it. 56 employees are currently working on Cyberpunk sequel, which is codenamed Orin, and 39 are developing a Witcher spin-off project, Project Cirrus. 20 are working on CD Projekt's first original IP, which is codenamed Hadar, and 13 are engaged on other projects. Dude, they got like a little piece over here, a little piece over there. They're just all around, right? So, I don't know, very cool to see they're busy. Very, very busy over at CD Projekt. I'm excited to see where we go next. I keep looking at the remake for The Witcher 3, thinking I should go back to do that. Dude, I just don't have the time, right? That's my biggest. I'm like, I need time to do that game, play that one over again, because I'm already like hours in, but I'm already lost the beginning of the story that I might as well just start all over. And I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do that. You know what I mean?
No, I've been thinking of the same thing for Cyberpunk, but now that Cyberpunk development has ceased, there's no more expansions for it. Are you nervous to see what happens with Cyberpunk 2, or do you think they've learned their lesson?
I hope they've learned their lesson, right? Like, it's taken them 3 years to fix Cyberpunk with Phantom Liberty to come out, so they've done patch after patch after patch, and then Phantom Liberty dropped, and everybody loved it. It was really, really good. It was a continuation. It felt just like more Cyberpunk, but with this espionage feel to it, which I really did enjoy. And I think
I want to play it.
Dude, it's really cool. It is super cool. But I think they did learn their lesson, right? They had to. They can't drop another game that breaks comp. That's what Cyberpunk did. Dude, it literally bricked PS4s. Like, that doesn't fly. Refunds were given out on the PlayStation Store network. Like, that is unheard of. So,
yeah, though they set the precedent for how a bad game can roll out.
That's just it.
Arguably, No Man's Sky did that, but that's a different issue.
Yeah, not to the same degree of what The Witcher did, right? No Man's Sky, obviously a different conversation, just felt empty. Where Cyberpunk just didn't work, right? It was crashing consoles. People at the studio were like, we're not ready for this. What are we doing? Dude, it should have been another 2 years after before they launched Cyberpunk. And it would have been a different conversation then, right? Because if you would have been able to play it, then everybody would have just loved it right from the get-go, right? That's the biggest thing. There's a first impression that needs a hit, and it needs to hit hard. And then your first impression is not hitting hard. In fact, is quarantine refunds.
Quite negative.
Right? It's very, very negative. So, but they've been able to come back with Phantom Liberty, which is fantastic. And they then move forward. The next Witcher game, dude, I'm pumped. I can't wait to see what that looks like, right? Hopefully, sooner than later. The Witcher 3 obviously just got a remaster to some extent. So, how much further along are we here in the production cycle? When do we get the next game out of CD Projekt? Or are we still 2, 3, 4 years out?
Well, it's been so long, but yeah, if development has just now ceased, I would expect maybe, 2 years. It seems to be their turnaround now.
Yeah.
So they say.
They'll have a lot of polish to come up with, I think, right? To make sure nothing breaks. That's the biggest thing. And then listen to fan feedback when it does launch, do some tweaks, and then move on to the next project. But
I just had a thought. Do you think they're going to leave the past console generation in the past?
Yes.
Because I think that's what caused a lot of the problems with Cyberpunk. Just if I think back.
Yeah. No, I think we'll be on current gen only. We'll be going with Xbox Series X and PS5 and eventually PC, or they might launch a PC day one as well. We'll have to see how that one plays out. But for sure, they'll be on current gens. They're not going way back again. They're not going to go on PS4. They're not going to go on Xbox One. I think they've learned their lesson. Trying to do multi-platform makes it too hard. And then they have to downgrade the game to some extent, right? And it just doesn't work. Focus on what you can currently, and then wow us to get us ready to go what's next. Because by the time over a 6-year period, right? We'll be on to PS6 and the next Xbox. By the time they wrap up with the last one, which then that will be PS5, Xbox Series X, and the next gen consoles on the very last gen. Yep, absolutely. And then more Cyberpunk as well. So, dude, they're busy. Very excited to see what they come up with next. Let us know over at ITGTV.com. Are you excited for the next Witcher?